What's up everyone, welcome to Kai's channel. Today we'll be reviewing this, Gulen Lagoon by CCSToys. Now CCSToys isn't a well-known company like your regular Bandai or Sentinel. Now I did a little research on this company for its background and information, and I must have to say I can hardly find any, other than the fact that prior to releasing this Gulen Lagoon, they actually released a robot called Thunderbolt from a game called Hardcore Mecha. However, I never got the product, so I have no idea what's the quality of that. Now that they have released this Gulen Lagoon, we'll find out just how good or bad the quality is by CCS, and what to expect in the future. So whether or not CCS will sink or swim, we'll find out from this product. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Since this is a new company and a new product for me to review, let's start off with the box. So here you have is the cardboard box containing this product. You have this very nice line art of Gurren Lagann right there in the background. Also, you have the Gulen Lagoon's logo right in the center. And obviously, Gurren Lagann's name right there below. And behind it, there's really nothing other than Gulen Lagoon's word right there in the center. So here is the inner box. You have this very nice art right there as the cover. And then you have the words Gulen Lagoon right there at the bottom. Very simple. And obviously you have at the back, it's just a little showcase of what it can do, which we'll cover later in the review. And that's it. So let's unbox this and see what's inside. So here it is right out of the box. You got this really nice art, which is the key panel, which you have the key inserted and it's already started. Very nice art right there. So what's up beneath it? Let's take it out. Okay, so it opens like this. Wow. You got the instruction manual. So you got right here, it's the base of the display stand. Really big drill. Holy crap. That's a very big drill. Probably for the Giga Drill Breaker. And then there's a smaller one right there. The main body right there in the center, and then the back of the flight unit, which is I will call the backpack, and some smaller drill. This I have no idea. And then you got these hands right there, right up here. Different faces that you can change into, the different antennas, and then some piece in here that I'm not sure what they do, which I'll check it out later. Alright, let's just check it out. So changing the angle so I can handle this easier, as it's actually pretty heavy altogether. So let's start off with this really big drill. And then, holy, look how big it is on my hand. And I have a pretty big hand already compared to regular people, but this is the size of my hands. Now the paint is, I would say it's decent. Not what I would call great, but it's definitely decent. And it's colored all the way, even in the inner circle. So I would believe the same goes for this little drill here as well. A bit smaller on my hand. Alright, I've successfully taken out the top part. And obviously I've gone through this already, the base stand and with all these hands and accessories. But what's underneath it, or what I have been looking for, the wings of the flight unit. There's actually a lot of drills. Obviously we have to put it onto the Gulen Lagoons to show that the drill mode from all the holes that it has. But this is amazing so far. The backpack unit for the flight unit kind of looks like the rear waist armor, if I'm not wrong. And then there's some drills right here that's taped it. I'm not gonna mess with that right now until later. And of course to the main attraction, the Gulen Lagoon. Holy cow. Oh, jeez, this is heavy. Looks kind of cheap with this plastic, but here it is. Wow, the coloring is amazing. I'll show you a little more in details, but for now, the colors is just as good as what you see online. This is very neat, I'm very impressed. Alright, enough of that. Let me put all these pieces together without the flight unit first so that we can go through in details just how it is. So here it is, the Gulen Lagoon, without the flight unit and also the glasses. Just so that I can show you guys how detailed it is of the face on the chest. While I'm putting on the shoulder armor and also the antenna, I did got a quick look on all the details and also the coloring onto it. And I must say it's absolutely incredible. You got the red all over the body. There's actually two tones of red. You got the metallic red, the fire hot red that you can see right in front of you, as well as little parts here and there that's in a darker metallic red. So the contrast between the two red makes it absolutely incredible. And also on the shoulder armor, as well as the side thigh armor and the waist guard, and the guards on the feet as well as the arms, there's actually two tones of gold as well. One is a little more pale, as you can see on the shoulder armor. The main piece is a pale gold, and then underneath that, it's a much shinier gold. So it's actually very nicely done right there. And obviously, no doubt about the logo, it's nicely printed onto the shoulder without the lack of details. As for the black all over the body, it's actually a semi-gloss black, so it's not a metallic color. But I think it's actually done better this way so that you can actually see the contrast and it doesn't conflict with the metallic red that's on it. So I think that's a very nice choice in there. And then in the center of the chest piece, you have is the eyes, which is also colored in the two tones of gold in round or circle alternating. And also within the mouth there, you can see a silver color, which is where it leads to the cockpit, but it has the mouth closed. It's also very detailed inside, so they didn't slack off on there. Very nice on that. Kudos on that one as well. As for the head, you have is the iconic antenna, and it has the darker gold on it. So this thing is actually pretty tall. From the feet all the way up to the tip of the antenna, the tallest point, it's actually a little bit shorter than 24 centimeters. It is around a head and a half taller than your regular metal build. As for the weight, it's actually pretty heavy. Unfortunately, I don't have a small scale for me to tell you guys exactly how much it weighs. However, from the feel of it, this thing weighs at least twice as heavy as your normal metal build is. So, enough of that, let's move on to the movement and just see how flexible this product is. So moving on to the movement, obviously you can tell that the legs and the arms as well as the head, it can move. So there's no doubt about that. But as to how much it does, you can tell from the knee section, it actually turns at 45 degrees and you can't go any more than that. Which is something that's lacking compared to the metal build that we're so used to before, which goes all the way to the back. However, I believe this is actually sufficient enough for this product itself. Also, you can notice that the knee section actually does move. This is the same gimmicks that I like on the metal build as well, where you move the legs, it will automatically move the knees to open as well. Which I absolutely didn't expect it on this product at all. That's why this is really nicely done right here. As for the thigh, it can actually move all the way to 45 degrees. But you have to take note on the two thigh side armors right there, you have to open it up all the way like I'm showing you right now. Otherwise, the thigh cannot move higher than basically a walking style, because it would actually conflict with each other and there's actually a possibility that it will scratch the thigh color. So, although it might look very weird, do open those up. As for the arms, obviously the elbow goes all the way up. As you can see on the left arm right there, it actually folds all the way to the back. Although they're not touching, this is actually how far it can go. As well as the arm, there's actually 2 points that it can actually rotate the arm so that it can go into a different posing. One is red part right underneath the shoulder joint. And the second one is right under the elbow joint. That you can see this line right there. That's where it can actually twist. And you can see that on both the arms. The left arm showing the one under the elbow, and on the right arm it's the one right under the shoulder joints. And then you can see in the middle on the torso, it actually turns into 90 degrees very nicely, although it's actually a little bit loose on mine. However, it's strong enough for a normal posing, it doesn't affect anything at all. Aside from that, the Gulen, the chest piece, the mouth actually can open. It's a really nice gimmick where you can actually tilt the Gulen Lagoon forward and backward and also have the mouth to open and close at the same time, which is a really nice gimmick there and really impressive that they actually thought of that. And lastly, you have is the head. Now the head obviously can turn, but there's something that I must have to point out is that not sure what's the joint part within the head is. However, when you're turning it, there's a really great resistance to it that turning the head doesn't have that very good experience to it. So that part could actually be improved in my opinion. So here is the flight unit. Obviously, it's nearly exactly the same as it is from the anime. You have it in all black, and then the tip of it, it's actually gold. You can see the side too, and also the top one. However, if you notice on the thruster, it's actually a little different from it is in the anime. In the anime, it has this ball with holes in it that glows the green on it. As you can see in here, we actually have a cylinder-like thing as a thruster. Not sure why they actually decided to change the design on that, because I'm sure that they can actually fit something that it's the same it is with the anime. So definitely not sure why they did that. In terms of movement for the wings, all the wings actually can move, even including the top one. The top one can actually tilt a little forward and then place it back on the original position. As for the side wings, they can actually move as well by bending it at the point where you can see the cylinder, the silver cylinder that's within it. All 4 cylinder points on the 2 wings can actually bend. However, just a note on it, when bending the middle section of the wings, be sure to actually pull it out a little bit before you bend it. Now, I actually didn't know that when I was playing with it, so I did do a little damage onto it on mine. Alright, let's put them onto the Gulen Lagoon and see how it is. So here it is, the Gulen Lagoon with the flight unit as well as the iconic glasses right there in the chest piece. And I must say that this looks incredibly awesome. Just the Gulen Lagoon itself was already incredible. And now with that iconic sunglasses on it, it looks even better. And not to mention the flight unit, it gives it a very sick look altogether. Very awesomely done. And this is a great surprise to me because I've never expected CCSToys to pull off something like this as their second products on the robots. So definitely kudos for CCSToys on making this happen. So even after combining, the functionality on the wings still exists where you can actually fold them at the 4-cylinder that I showed you previously. So there's actually no change on that. In addition, now that you have combined it, the backpack itself can actually fold out a little bit outward so that you can actually display it at a different angle. So moving on to the accessories, you have right in front of you are all the accessories that is with the Gulen Lagoon. And starting with the left, you can see this huge drill, which is basically for the Giga drill brake, which I refer to the same as it is on the manual, which is the drill Y, and there's only one of them. And next to that is the drill Z. And next to that, you can see these 4 P's. Starting with the top left, we have the antenna with the drill, which you can replace with the Gulen Lagoon so that when you have the full drill mode, that part can be shown as well. Right next to that is this red piece, which you can replace on the chest piece so that if you were to display it without the sunglasses on the chest piece, this piece can replace it so that there's no holes in the chest piece where the glasses is held. So that's very nice of them to include this piece for your preference. And underneath are the 2 different faces that you can interchange on the head of the Gulen Lagoon, which is one, it's the semi-open mouth, and the second one, it's the one with the open mouth that looks angry. On the right, you see that there is 5 different drills. For the sake of space, I only include 1 for each type. So starting on the top row on the left, that's the biggest piece out of the 5, and this is called the drill L. And there's actually 4 pieces of them, which actually goes on the wrist of the Gulen Lagoon, right there in the hands, 2 on each side. And next to that you have is the drill M, and there's actually 6 of them. That goes on the ankle, there's 2 on each legs, and then 2 more on the back waist armor, total of 6. And then next to it is the drill S, which there's actually 18 of them, and they're placed on all the rest of the body. And underneath on the lower bottom row, you have is the drill V for the bigger one and drill W for the smaller one. And there's actually 2 for each piece of them. And they go onto the backpack on the flight unit, where if you remember, when the Gulen Lagoon attached to the flight unit, there's this drill that pokes into it. These are those drills. And obviously, these 5 drills looks very similar no matter in size or in looks. So how do you differentiate the 2? Obviously I have them separated into top row and the bottom row. There is a way to actually tell, and which is for the drill that's for the flight unit, there's actually 3 lines on the drill, where the other ones there's more than that. So you can use that as a point to tell the difference. But there is actually a easier method for you to tell the difference between the two, which I'll tell you when we put the drills onto the Gulen Lagoon in just a bit. Also, there's actually another accessory that I forgot to introduce, which is this right here. It's another piece of sunglasses that is completely flat, which you can actually hold onto the hands as a weapon. So here we're putting on the drill V and drill W onto the flight unit, where the drill V are the two on the top, which is the bigger ones, and the drill W are the two at the bottom. Now the top two ones are fairly easy to put in without any issues, but the bottom two seems to be very hard to put it in. It's really tight on that. So you gotta make sure you put a little more force onto it. Definitely suggest you to put the drills on when the flight unit is not on the Gulen Lagoon, so you can have your hands holding onto the flight unit when putting the drills on it, unlike what I did here. And now we'll be putting on the drill L on the wrist. Did you guys see that? Let's see that again. Yes, this is what I was talking about when I was trying to compare the drill. Another really easy way to differentiate between the flight unit drill and also the rest of the body is that the rest of the body, L, M, and S, they contain magnets within it, just like you see here. Very thoughtful for CCSToys for them to make this gimmick. It's very nicely done. So let's put the drill onto the rest of the body and just see how amazing it will be. And here it is, all the drill onto the Gulen Lagoon. Obviously, it's not every single drill. We still got the two big drill that's interchangeable on the arms, which I'll get into later. But as you can see, all the little drills are now on it. You got multiples on the legs, on the waist armors, you got it on the hands, and even two on the shoulders as well. Not to mention that the little drill on the antenna. Obviously, the little drill on the antenna, it's not magnet. That and also the four on the backpacks are the exception without magnets. All the other ones, aside from that, are magnets, which is really cool. And after putting all of them on it, it just looks amazing. And I must say that CC has done an exceptionally good job on this gimmick, which I definitely love with all the magnets. Easy to put on, and it just looks great. The magnets are very decent. It's strong enough to stay firmly onto each of the points, but not strong enough for it to damage anything. So definitely great on that part. They adjusted and found the right strength of magnets that there is. So in order to equip the drill Y and also the drill W, you need to remove the entire wrist along with the hands in order to equip it. And you can do that by removing the wrist and then equipping the drill. But be careful, there's actually a direction where you can put it. As you can see right now, there's actually a sharp point on the top of the drill right now, which goes along with the wrist guard. So it goes like this to put it on. And once you hear that click, then it's basically equipped it on properly. And the same goes with the other arm. Both arms can actually do the same. So you can actually wield both the big drill and this drill on both hands. Next we have is the base stand. Now the base itself is actually a semi-transparent plastic in black, and you have the gold word, very shiny gold text of the logo right there, as you can see. And that's it. And then you got some screw looking design on all four corners. And then you have this hole in the center that's basically for you to put the arm of the stand right there in the center. And it actually comes in two different poles. One's a shorter one and then another one is a longer one for you to display as it in flight. However, I must say that they don't look too reliable. And obviously, I'm not sure why they even bothered to make a shorter one, because although it does support it while it stands, I think the Gulen Lagoon itself, the legs, it's more than enough to support its own weight. As for the longer one, as you can see here, it's actually not too reliable as well, because if you put a little force in it, you can see that it actually wobbles a little bit. It's actually not very convincing for anyone to be using this long pole to display it in flight. I personally myself would definitely not use it, but do give it a try if you feel comfortable with it. So, as for conclusion, what do I think about this piece? This piece is actually a very great piece. And not to mention that the color is very nicely done. You got the two tones of red and also the two tones of golds, which stands out very nicely. Also, the gimmicks are very nicely designed. The knee section, which I very love. The central torso part where Gulen's mouth can be open, revealing the inner details. You got the big drill that you can equip onto the wrist of the arm. And not to mention the ultimate gimmicks, which are the drills all over the body. That's magnet. Very thoughtful of them doing that. However, I must say that there's some of the issues that I find that this piece could definitely be improved on. Which is one, for the shoulder joint, currently if you count from vertical down all the way up, it actually goes on 4 clicks. I would actually hope them to improve that up to 6 or even 8 so that we just have that flexibility for posing. And also, another thing is that in order to exchange the face piece, the manual instruction makes it very easy where you can just pull it down. However, that's not the case. It's almost impossible for you to remove the face without actually removing the head part. And in order to remove the head part, it's actually firmly attached so that you need quite a number of force remove the head before you can remove the face. And they don't tell you that in the instruction. And I didn't realize that, and when I was doing it, when I was pulling off the head, I accidentally broke the tip of the drill on the antenna. So that's something that you definitely should look out for. And my suggestion would be remove the antenna completely before you try to remove the head. But lastly, I must have to say this, everyone should be warned, is that your drill, whichever part it is, they're very fragile and they're very sharp. And the reason why I'm trying to emphasize this is that throughout the video that I'm making, there are a couple times where the Gulen Lagoon would fall and I would try to grab it with all these drills attached it onto the body and you quickly grab it and try to rescue it. I have times where I failed, which broke one of the drill on the flight unit. And there are times that I'd actually successfully catch it, but those drills actually poke it through my glove and into my skin, leaving me bleeding. And that's just something that you should be very careful of. And just make sure that it doesn't fall off from your shelf and cause damage. Now I have some drill that's broken, I don't know how to repair it, so definitely have to be careful on that. And I definitely don't want you guys to experience what I've gone through. Now I have 2 holes on one of each hand. Definitely not fun, and also it's very dangerous as well. So as how much I will rate this piece, I will actually still rate it a 9 given the issues that I've mentioned and all the troubles that it brought me. It's still a very good piece regardless of all those. You just have to take the precaution of it. So what do you guys think about this piece? So that's it with today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and find it useful. Also, do support me by hitting that like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.